Now with regard to the p-value, once more, already at 2003 question, अभी आप बताना पड़ेगा. Is it the probability of committing type 1 error? Yes. It is not equal to 1 minus beta. Power is equal to 1 minus beta error. Then what is p-value? P-value is the chance that the presence of difference is concluded. False positive, though there is no difference. Difference नहीं है, फिर भी difference है बोल के बोल रहे हैं आप. So that is p-value. When p-value is less than 0.01, the result is statistically significant. That is all true. Barabar? Now, a randomized trial compared the efficacy of two drugs and it has shown the difference between the two, a p-value of 0.005, less than 0.005. But in reality, the two drugs do not differ. Right? So, what is this an example of? It is an example of type 1 error. Type 1 error, false positive. The trial is saying that there is a difference, that is, it is positive for difference. But in fact, there is no difference. That means it is a false positive. False positive होता है type 1 error, alpha error. So, doctor, a type 1 error, once more, be very sure. Type 1 error is an incorrect rejection of a true null hypothesis. Incorrect rejection of a true null hypothesis. That is, a null hypothesis is incorrectly rejected. Null hypothesis bola ki there is no difference, but you concluded that there is a difference, but actually there is no difference. That is false positives. Type 2 error. It is failure to reject a false null hypothesis. That is, it is a false negative. That is, null hypothesis is not rejected even though it is false. Even though वो फालतू है, reject करने का चीज है, फिर भी आप reject नहीं किया, वो होता है type 2 error. बराबर? How will you remember easily? Alpha, you observed a difference. You observed. Alpha क्या? You observed a difference that did not exist. Beta, you are blinded by the truth. You are blinded by the truth. You said it is negative, but असल में वो negative नहीं है. It is a false negative है. You are blinded by the truth. That is called beta error. बराबर? कल और एक वही बोला हमने. सीता माता रावण के पास जाके आने के बाद भी उसमें कुछ भी डिफरेंस नहीं है, फिर भी राम ने उसमें ऑब्जर्व किया कुछ डिफरेंस है बोल के उसको अग्नि परीक्षा को दिया. अग्नि परीक्षा होता है अल्फा एरर. That's what you need to remember. Beta error, you are blinded by the truth. You are blinded by the truth. False negative. That's what you should remember. So one more way to remember. Type 1 error. ये आदमी को आप पकड़ के तू प्रेग्नेंट है बोल के बोल रहे हैं. He is not pregnant, he is a man. False positive. ये तो फुल प्रेग्नेंट है मगर ये बोल रहे हैं कि भाई तेरे पेट में कैंसर है, तू प्रेग्नेंट नहीं है बोल के तू ये बोल रहे हैं. असल में वो प्रेग्नेंट है. So that is, you are denying the pregnancy. False negative. False negative होता है type 2 error. Type 1 error is false positive. Another way for you to remember this is ये Adams and Eve ना. Adams and Eve. So Adam क्या है? इसको प्रेग्नेंट बोल रहे तुम. False positive. Alpha error. Adam. ये क्या है? False negative. Negative is Eve. Type 2 error. Though she is pregnant, you are denying. That is typically type 2 error. Beta error, Gandhari is blind. Alpha error, Sita Mata. Areppa. Very good. Now, when we say that the difference is significant, it means it is unlikely by chance. Typically, it happens when the p-value is less than 0.05. 0.05 is what you should remember. A new test and a gold standard test. ये दोनों को compare करना है. What is the best method? It's called Bland and Altman analysis. Definitely that is not correlation, that is not regression. Only two new things are Bland and Altman test and Kolmogorov Smirnov test. वो क्या है देखेंगे. There are certain tests of agreement. Bland Altman plot, if it is an interval scale, yesterday we studied no interval scales. If the variable is a interval scale ka variable hai, we use Bland Altman plot to check the agreement. Dichotomous or a nominal scale, we use Kappa statistic and McNemar test. That's the point. So Bland Altman plot. So what is Bland Altman plot? आप x axis लिया, y axis लिया. You have put test result एक है, test result test result and expected result. इसका difference जो है, that values you have plotted on x-axis and on the y-axis you have put the mean value of the test results. And you created a plot that is called Bland Altman plot. So the difference between two test results is the one which you are basically comparing. So that is the Bland Altman. So the mean of test 1 and test 2 you are putting on one side, and the value of the test 1 and test 2, the difference between the value of test 1 and test 2 you are putting on the y-axis. Then you get a plot which will be able to tell you whether there is any difference between a standard, gold standard test and the new test. So that is the story of Bland Altman plot. So if you want to measure agreement, whether there is any difference or not, then if it is an interval or ratio scale, you use Bland Altman. If it is an ordinal scale, you use Spearman, Kendall, Cohen, etc. etc. बस ये तो थोड़ा Greek and Latin का subject है biostatistics sometimes, unless you are using those tests. Kolmogorov Smirnov test, ये तो word का model का नाम के जैसे. right? Kolmogorov Smirnov's test. It is basically used as a goodness of the fit test. What is the meaning of goodness of the fit? If observed sample comes from a hypothesized distribution or not. Similarly, you want to check whether two samples have come from identical population or not. For example, you have taken boys, you have taken girls, right? You are trying to check, one population is there, another population is there. इसमें 50 boys, 50 girls हैं. इसमें 10 boys, 90 girls हैं. Obviously, top ranks will come from this group only, na? You observe that this group is getting more top rank. But to compare, you are thinking that these two populations are homogeneous, similar. But in fact, they are not similar. So to look whether, that's called goodness of fit, whether two samples come from identical population or not, you do the Kolmogorov Smirnov's test is what you have to remember.